We're live, guys.
Wow.
And everyone's muted.
Oh, they can't hear me. I'm muted. Oh, there we go. Nick Leo, Jackie Dundee. I'm going to play. Okay, so share screen.
Mate, the other thing I thought I'd run by you too, John suggested, mate, your days and the cops are done, like, and they're coming after you. Essentially, like, the rules apparently under the Police Act are that I have to attend interviews because it's breach of policy and things like that. But, mate, the next interview, I'll send you the email, you'll see it's the biggest setup ever. And it just, all it does is lead to more questions and more questions and more questions.
Can anyone hear that noise? I think it's coming
Mate, they
from...
They are.
Yeah,
Analia.
who's
Analia,
that
put
phone
your,
conversation coming through?
Analia.
I'm just muting everybody for the moment. There we go. That's better.
Some stress, and if I've got to play them cards there.
Okay. Right, so... Not right this second. So, okay.
I'm not going to be able to do this while you're on the phone.
Hello, guys. Some technical difficulties. I'm glad you all can be here today. What we're doing this for is kind of to show unity. There's a lot of us here, a lot of activists in the movement. Some I've known for and followed for 10 years and others a couple of months. We're all from different parts of Australia. We're all fighting different causes, but we're all fighting the same. So I wanted to get you all here to let the people know, because some people follow one or two of us and don't have any idea who the rest of you guys are. So hopefully...
I said in the interview too, I said...
It's coming from Annalie.
Vaccine comes in.
I don't know how to do this, guys.
Annalie, you need to mute your mic.
Wait.
Yeah, there's a conversation coming through. There you go.
Okay.
Hey guys,
Hello, Jackie.
how are you?
Jackie, how are you?
Good, how are you, Fenos,
Good to
Mike,
see ya.
Eric, Abby, yeah, good to see you all.
It's like, let's talk.
How you all going?
Okay, maybe we'll get Annalie to go first. Annalie, are you here?
No, she
No,
had to
now
go,
she's
I
gone.
think. Well, I think she had to go. Put it on gallery view too.
Okay, so Annalie's gone. Oh, Tay's here. Hello, Tay.
Hello.
Okay, you go first, Tay, since you're here, and Tay's in France right now.
I can throw in the deep end first.
If you don't want to, that's okay. There's a lot of other people that would love to go first.
It's all good. I'll go first if you need me to. I got to jump off in about 45 minutes anyway, so it's probably good timing. What do you want me to say?
Go for it, Tay. Tell the people who you are and what you stand for and what you're doing and what you got planned. I know you've got some big things planned as well.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Taylor Winterstein. I am originally from Sydney, Australia, but I live over in France. I've been trying to get home since July, but it's interesting how hard the government has made it for families to get back to Australia. Expensive, no flights, and the caps. They're barely letting anyone back into the country. So it's been an interesting journey for my family trying to get back home. But basically, I'm here just to support everybody. I'm here to support you, Michael. I'm here to rally the troops, to encourage as many people as possible to get to these Freedom Day marches this weekend. I think, when I was thinking about the Freedom Day and how many there've been now, I think this is really about resilience and perseverance from the people in the community. And, we've had rallies over the past however many months where people have turned up and it's been crappy weather. And, I've heard talks about, people saying that, oh, well, I wish we had more numbers. I wish we had more numbers. But I think what's really important here is consistency. The more consistent we are, the more people will actually start to turn up and realize that this is a thing, like this is not going away. 2021 is not going to get easier. So I'm really, really grateful for everyone who's put this together. I wish I could be there. I cannot be there. If I was home 100%, I'd be there at every single march. But I know my family will be there this weekend. And in terms of what I've got coming up, I've got a couple of things coming up, which you can go to my pages and find out what that is. It's a podcast with my husband and also a new thing I haven't announced yet, which I will be announcing at the end of this week, for people to come to. But basically, it's just an online community for everyone to get into where, you know, I think what will happen going forward is we will be getting back to basics, going back to small villages. And I think that it's really important to have an online community as well, one where people can come to, where they can feel safe, respected, be amongst other like-minded people, and just feel like they're in a trusted, safe space. So that's kind of where I'm moving towards. But hopefully if I eventually get back home, whenever that may be, you know, I'd love to do events again and be with people face to face.
Excellent. Thank you, Tay. And just for people that don't know, Tay is actually more involved. I think I can say that, Tay. You're actually more involved than people know. I speak to Tay regularly. We're in the loop. She gives me advice on things. So she shares our posters. She shares our videos. She's very involved in these protests that have been happening this year, even though she's on the other side of the world. So thank you, Tay.
Thank you.
Who wants to go next? Do I have a volunteer? Put your hand up. None?
No.
Oh, Belinda.
Unmute. Sorry, I had to unmute myself there. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Excellent. Hi. Thank you so much for letting me join you guys and have some time to speak. It's really, really good. Yeah. And my name is Belinda anyway. I'm just an independent activist, and I started a petition. So that's why I'll be down at the Hobart Freedom Day rally. So I'm here to encourage everyone to come down. It won't just be me that's speaking, but I'll be speaking on the petition that I launched, change.org. And I then after just basically started a petition to lift suppression orders that unfortunately are where there were documents naming 28 high-profile individuals that are pedophiles, and they're run within the pedophile network and are pedophiles themselves. So, basically these documents were brought up in the Wood Royal Commission and then were brought up again by our wonderful Senator Bill Heenan in 2015. He brought that back to Parliament. So that's where my awareness was brought to it, because of Bill Heenan and some other people sharing his when he brought that to, there was the Royal Commission, of course, into institutional child abuse. That's when he brought that into Parliament. So nothing has been done since then. And it's just apparent, obviously, that our whole system is run by completely corrupt people that will literally cover up pedophilia and all sorts of things. So I'm here to basically promote my petition that's still running on change.org at the moment. We're trying to get as many parliamentarians and people in organisations, individuals, to actually still get on board and sign the petition to keep pressure on. I put in a parliamentary petition, which has already been submitted by Andrew Wilkie. I don't know if anybody knows about that. So that's something that just happened, and we've got 90 days, basically until February, to sort of keep the pressure on so that they know that we're still here, and it's part of the mission. But I'll speak more about it at Freedom Day down at Hobart at the rally, and just really, really glad to join on board with people. Freedom Day means so much more than to me, just the anti-vax and all of these sorts of things. All of the system, I think, is a little bit worse over on the mainland. It's a little bit more relaxed down here, but my issue is with the bigger network, all of the corrupt people that run this system. I don't think that we are going to get very far if we're run by pedophiles. I don't think that, the system really needs to be cleaned up before we can put lots of pressure on these people. We need to make sure that they are decent people that are going to be doing the right thing. There's no point putting pressure on people that are really just, doing the wrong thing by all of us. The children and the future has to be different. We have to change it. So, I'm happy to sit here and put as much pressure on as, from many angles, from all the angles, not just, the lockdowns and the COVID and all of the things that you guys are dealing with over there. I sort of see a bigger picture than this. So, I'll be speaking, more at the Hobart rally. I'm trying to keep it short because I know you've got a lot of people here. And
Excellent. Thanks, Belinda. I think a lot of people have talked about that petition, so it's good to finally see the lady that started it.
That's right. Lovely. All right.
Thank you.
Hopefully see you all again.
We have Sarah. She's next in my list. unmute Sarah. Yeah.
Hi, Michael. Hi, everyone.
Sarah from Cairns, or Sarah will tell her story now. Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm in Cairns. I was the Informed Medical Options Party candidate in Cairns alongside Adam in Barron River and Tara in Hill. And we've got a beautiful network up here, and we're really excited about the 6th to gather and celebrate. And also exciting coming up for Cairns, it'll be the start of the tour on the 1st of January. Dane and Samantha, who were also candidates for Informed Medical Options Party, will be starting up here. They've teamed up with the Australian Sovereignty Alliance. So they'll be storming the borders. They'll be going from here to Melbourne, I think it is, which is exciting. I've just come on at the last minute today. Adam, I couldn't make it. I just wanted to, do a shout out for Sunday, but also just talk about my day today and my lifestyle at the moment, and hopefully encourage other people that are thinking of maybe doing things a little bit differently. I am homeschooling my children. I have a beautiful community up here that we get together. We go on bushwalks. We do storytelling. We do nature talks. And for example, today I had mother drop her little boy over to spend the morning with us because she can't get childcare because he's unvaccinated. And in exchange for us hanging out with her boy all day, we will have her over and she will help us set up a syntropic system on our property. So we've got chickens, we've got ducks, we've got children running around naked in the mud. And we're just really enjoying life at the moment, being kind of separated from all the COVID craziness. We'd love to see everyone on Sunday, and thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Sarah. Time to go to Melbourne. And because this lady will be singing later, she can speak now. Hey, Vanessa.
Thanks so much for that, Michael. I'm so nervous. It's incredible. Like, I just feel so honored. There's so many incredible people, every single one of these people tonight. Like, so honestly, thank you so much for having me. I was super nervous, but, because I think about what have I done? Like, I look at all you guys and you guys have done so much. And so I'll just, my name's Vanessa. I'm a musician from Melbourne. And I think for me, I was immersed my whole life in the Melbourne independent music scene. And artists, punk rockers and alternative people were constantly, fighting for rights, whatever that they were. They were always kicking and screaming, and then lockdown happened and COVID happened and everybody literally went silent, like completely silent. Actually, in the beginning, they were just pushing and regurgitating the same bullshit that mainstream media were pushing. So stay at home, all that crap. And I was just so sick to death of seeing it. And I attended a funeral through a screen for a girl that I knew. And, that's nine people within my group. So 9 suicides throughout lockdown. And I'd had enough. So I started writing, and I've been fortunate enough to turn my anger into something positive and be able to write. And, I think music is a really beautiful way to communicate to some people, and it does get through to some. And I think planting seeds is really important. And I guess my aim is to get other artists and musos to speak up, because they are dead silent. And I guess the silence is really killing us. I'm also super excited to now be playing on Sunday in Melbourne for Freedom Day. So thank you so much for sorting that out. It's my first live show back since it started. And I always said, if we required masks and all of that stuff, then I won't ever play again. So it's so beautiful that I'm able to do that and feel supported. So although the Melbourne music scene have not supported me, pretty much abandoned me. And you know what? I may never be supported on mainstream ever, but that's the risk that I took. And I was happy to take that, as so many of us are. But I have just had so much beautiful support. And it's so beautiful to know that there really is a community of us out there, and there's a lot of us out there fighting for the same thing. And I just feel really honored to be a part of it. So thank you so much. But yeah, cool.
Thank you for coming. Oh, you inspired me, and I know you inspire many others.
Thanks, Michael.
All right. Where are we going to in Australia now? Adelaide. That's you, Al.
Hey, how are you? There's some amazing faces here. How exciting. I'm super unprepared. I don't even know what you want me to say.
You've got the floor for 3 minutes.
Oh my God, I'm not ready. I don't even know.
Okay, well, we're skipping you.
It's my birthday. It's my birthday. I've just run in the door. I've been drinking cocktails. I think I get a free pass.
Okay, you're coming back soon. It is Elle's birthday, and she did come in because I didn't beg her, but she really wanted to come, and she skipped her party to join us tonight. Are we going Fanos?
I knew I was going to be next.
I'll mute you too.
So what are we doing? 3 minutes why we are here and why people should attend Freedom Day. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right, everybody. To the people who don't know who I am, my name is Fanos. I've been on a serious journey since March. I have been a person about truth and integrity for a very long time. I've spoken about, this, this takeover for a very long time, which was going to be happening with the world. I've spoken a very long time to people about, microchips and the mark of the beast, and I'm very firm in my beliefs. Look, if I was going to sum it up in, a package that people could understand, every single person who's at the age right now where they are a consenting adult, who is not a senior and who is not a child, we're basically the line of defense. What's coming. All the children are going to be indoctrinated with this new program, right? They're all going to be learning this new system, this great new way of thinking. All the seniors, the ones that are a lot older, they don't have the strength to do what they need to do, even though they'd want to. So we are the last line of defense. There is nothing else after us. If we don't, mobilize in which way we need to mobilize, if we don't get to where we need to be, if we aren't the voice of the last line of defense, then this thing's over. I was thinking about it the other day, and we are seriously the last line of defense. We are the final voice before, this final plan is implemented, and we can see everything that's happening around the world at the moment isn't by accident. We can see just how far, the control lies in regards to government control, authoritarian cooperation with the health sector. This is an operation which, far surpasses anyone's, rational thinking. So when these days come up, such as Freedom Day and whatever else, these are the days where we get together, where we can, form one voice, where we can be, a combined consciousness of people with one goal in mind, and that's for the betterment of humanity and nothing else. And everyone here, everyone on this screen right now, they have chosen to completely put themselves out there and be at the mercy of, every single, mainstream brainwashed person who, watches all of these things, that come out of the news and don't question anything. And we are, when we go to these places like Freedom Day and we speak, people need to be there to show support. People need to be there to show that this solidarity is about everyone's there together and everyone's like-minded, and there is a large consciousness of people that are all thinking the same way. So, why am I doing this? Because I believe we are the last generation. I believe if we don't put the right foot forward and do what we need to do, then our way of life as we know it is gone. So if you weren't planning on going to Freedom Day across Australia, this would probably be one of the most important ones of all of them. And that's all I've got to say.
Yeah, definitely is. That's why we're all here today. So thanks, Fanos, and thanks for coming to Sydney.
Yeah. Yes, I'm flying to Sydney, yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Anita, you've been here a long time.
You mean tonight or in general?
Oh, both. And that's what I think for me, because you're someone I looked up to for a long time. And I've noticed a lot of the new crop, not that you guys have been silent, but a lot of the new voices are making noise, and a lot of the older, not older in age, but older in the movement are being missed by the new people.
Okay. Well, can I say, though, it's great that there is so many voices that we can be missed, because for a long time it was a lonely road to be screaming this stuff. And can I say how thrilled I am that there are just so many people stepping up to the plate everywhere. That has been the most heartening thing this year. For years, we've said to people, please step up. And now people are in their droves. I mean, I'm just looking at my screen tonight. It's just so humbling and beautiful and amazing. And the humanity out there is amazing. You meet so many amazing people in this, so many strong, courageous, wonderful people with the biggest hearts. And ultimately, that's going to get this done. That's how we get this done, by all of these people standing up and doing what they can. And yeah, I am the president of the Australian Vaccination Risks Network. I live in the outback. I grew up on a North Queensland cattle property, and I currently live on a cattle property in central Queensland. I came to the vaccine issue in 2005 when my oldest daughter reacted badly to the hepatitis B vaccine at birth. So that's how I got into the movement, and that's how I joined the AVN. I joined the AVN committee in 2014, and I've been the president since last year. And yeah, when you say attacks with the AVN, we've had it all. I was just thinking this morning, a very brief summary of some of the things the AVN's had this year. In January, we got threatened a lawsuit by the ABC. I think in February, we got a letter from the World Health Organization, like a cease and desist on a press release we did. We have the Vax Bus this year. I hope everyone knows about the Vax Bus. We are going around. We've been around Queensland and New South Wales so far, getting vaccine injury stories and stories of the unvaccinated, the people that the media won't listen to. That's what we're doing. So we had the Vax Bus. We famously got kicked out of a caravan park in Caloundra, which we're still taking action against. We've been absolutely trashed by a current affair. And we've been banned by 3 New South Wales councils. So that's been our year so far. So judging by that reaction, I'd say we're having a lot of success, because they don't want us to do what we do. They don't want us to represent the people that don't have a voice. They certainly don't want informed choice when it comes to vaccinations. They don't want you to know. Simple thing is read a vaccine insert. Like, the amount of information that is getting scrubbed offline now is absolutely insane. I cannot believe the level of censorship. It's horrific, but it is a good sign. It is a good sign that they are so desperate to stop any dissent whatsoever, because people are getting out there. People are finding more information. And what I love about these rallies, which everyone needs to get to, I don't care where you are. I have 700K to go. I'm going to make that happen somehow this weekend. I do have only vision in one eye at the moment, so I can't drive, but I'm going to make that happen, because it's up to all of us to stand up and more that make our own communities, network with people. The most powerful thing I find at these rallies, which the media tries to ignore and the politicians try to ignore, but it's the connections you make. It's the feeling you feel on those days of that oneness, that connection. It's truly incredible. I can't implore people enough to get out there and show up, because you'll feel better. You'll feel better. And as for speaking up, I know you stop thinking of all the things that might happen and all the nasty words that might happen. 99% of it won't happen. What will happen is you will feel better. You will sleep better at night. You will look your kids straight in the eye and feel better about what you do every day. I always say, I do this because I can't not do this, because the person I have to see in the mirror every day is the one whose judgment I really have to care about. So that's why I do what I do. And, you know, all I can say is the fear, guys, let it go. Let it go. The media fears you. The government fears you. That's why we're seeing everything we are seeing. That's why at the start of the year, I thought, oh, this is our year. So much is going to happen this year. The truth's coming out. Obviously, the powers that be saw that too, because look where we are now. That's why they had to do what they're doing now to get us where we are now. But it's not going to work. They've gone too fast and too hard. And yeah, on their 6th, they're going to see what it's all about. So thanks, Michael.
Thanks, Anita. And again, lovely work. If anyone hasn't seen the bus, check out the bus. And we talk about shadow banning a lot. When I look at your page that I have to look at, and these marvelous videos are getting 30 views. 30. That's a shadow ban and a half, that one. So thank you for all you do, and obviously keep going. And lots of people are reaching out asking where the bus is coming next. So
we're going to Tasmania in February.
excellent.
All things going well, and you. Sorry, well, it's so hot, and but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We might end up, who knows where. Give Greg Hunt and ScoMo a couple of months. Who knows where what we'll be doing. But Tassie in February is our plan thus far. And if you want to follow the AVN and follow the bus, go to avn.org.au and sign up to our free newsletter, and you'll see what we're doing.
Thank you, Anita. Now, talking of someone having the balls to speak out, our next guest is in the car right now. Anna Lee, if you want to share your story, because maybe some people still don't know who you are and who your husband is and what you're doing. So let the world know.
Hi, hello everyone, and apologies about before. Yes, so my name is Anna Lee. My partner is Senior Constable Alexander Cooney. Now he is the New South Wales police officer who wrote an open letter to Michael Fuller, the man that is sometimes acting as the police commissioner for New South Wales. So he sent that to the commissioner and also to his colleagues. And then that was put publicly online through Advocate Me for everyone to be able to see. To this date, there's been no reply to that letter. And I can't really speak much further on that in regards to Alex, but Serene has been putting a lot of info out there, and she's the woman to kind of speak to in regards to that. I will add there's been a second open letter that's dropped within the last week by another senior constable, Kevin Dawson. Now, he's in the Public Order Rights Squad in Sydney, and this letter is really, really important. It's a great follow-on from Alex, but it's essentially giving a very frontline picture. You know, I just encourage everyone to go and read those letters now on the website. So I've just kind of appeared, I guess, alongside Alex because publicly he can't speak out more than he has. So I guess in a way I became a voice when I made that video giving an update. What I wanted to bring to the conversation today was just something really simple for people because I guess a lot of the time people feel powerless to do something, or what they feel like they are doing or that they could do is not enough. And it's really small things that make a big difference. So obviously these conversations we're having and talking to police officers just at a human level, like from our hearts and from our centres and sharing our feelings and our fears is a great thing. But also I just want to remind everyone that a lot of people right now are really scared, and that's why they're acting the way they are. You know, everyone has a perspective and they're all really important and valid. So if you want to do something that's really impactful right now, I think the best thing you can do is if you feel like you're an woke, I don't really like that term, but an awakened, aware person, the best thing you can do is be aware of your energy and hold a space for those people that are feeling fear and validate that for them. So none of this brainwashed sheep stuff, which I know we feel at times, it gets frustrating because we have fear too, but to hold space for people's feelings, because that's where you make the breakthroughs. I know you guys know this, but just a message for others out there that that little thing, you might not think that's much, but holding space for other people's feelings and validating them, no matter what they are, is going to make a huge impact right now. That's how we get people to really tune into feeling and to find their truth.
That's it, Annalie?
I think that's it.
And just,
unless you have any questions that I could help with. But.
Just to give Annalie credit, it's not just about her husband. If her husband didn't exist, she's still a marvellous woman. And we were friends on Instagram and I think in Facebook before. When she first released the video, I was going to ask her where she got it from. I didn't put two and two together at first. I didn't know she was the wife of Alex. So she was already speaking out, if I can say that.
Oh, yeah. Like, I've totally, I think, right from the beginning, you know, that we knew what was sort of going on. And I've been speaking out on a lot of issues for a while now. And I was a paramedic for 13 years until this year. So we have an 18-month-old son, and I resigned for a few reasons. One of them was because we became registered through APRA, and I just really didn't want to be a part of that. I knew that there would be a lot more control coming, including mandatory vaccines, which most of them are, but flu vax has been added on as well. And there's no way I just couldn't. I wasn't having any more. That was my choice. So, but other than that, seeing a system so broken and not being able to help people in the way that I wanted and not having services that I wanted to refer them to. So, yeah, I've got my own separate life and things that I do, and I want to help people release trauma and to heal in a more holistic way.
Excellent. Thank you, Anna-Lee.
Thank you.
Good to hear from you. Now we'll go to the birthday girl. Is she ready? We're not going to ban her.
So I'm prepared for that, but a little bit starstruck by all the people on this call. But to be honest, as I was listening to everybody speak and some of these people in the movement that I really look up to, at the end of the day, we are all just like super normal people. I'm just a mum from Adelaide. You know, I don't have any specific education in any of the topics that I like to talk about, but it doesn't take any, you know, it doesn't take a degree to be able to do the research on your own, to be able to have an opinion, an educated opinion, and actually make a difference. And just getting a little bit of skin in the game. I mean, everybody here just started out by doing their own research. That was probably triggered by an event of some sort. Then they went into researching things, and then they went into sharing that new knowledge that they found with somebody else. And that's where it starts for everybody. So as much as so many people, you know, I hear things like, I'm not going to go to the rally on Sunday because what difference is it going to make? We're up against such big challenges and such powers that, you know, my voice means nothing, but your voice means everything. And you know, alone, none of us would have any impact, but the impact that each individual person here on this Zoom has had on thousands and thousands and thousands of people is huge. And that's all it takes. Like what Mike's doing here, bringing everybody together, is just incredible. And he's just a normal guy as well, like an amazing one. But I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. I guess for me, you know, I go through the ebbs and flows of being an advocate or a truth seeker or whatever it is. You know, I don't see myself as anything. I'm just a mom that literally wants my children to have a quality life, and everything that's happening right now leaves me feeling quite you know, not very confident that that's going to be the case. I can't leave this world at some point and leave my kids behind and know that I didn't do everything in my power to make the world that they are going to have to live in a better place. And if we just look at the last 12 months, like 2020, the rights that have been taken away from us, the rights that have been taken away from our children, and the negative impact that the government's decisions around the world is having on people, with suicide rates through the roof, domestic violence through the roof, depression and anxiety, like all of these things, homelessness, bankruptcy, all of this stuff. And this stuff is going to, like, we haven't even seen the damage to their decisions. That's going to carry on for another decade or so. And this is the world that our children are growing up in. So sometimes I get caught up and I think maybe I should just let it go. You know, it is such a big battle and it drains my energy, and maybe I should just let it go, wear a mask when I go to the shops, and just get over it. But the truth is, that's not where it ends. You know, they said it was just 2 weeks. Back in March, I was over in Spain, and it's just 2 weeks, just stay home for 2 weeks. And it's dragged on. We're now here a year later, and it's literally still the very beginning of what they're doing to us. So I know that people, it's a lot, like it's a lot to take in, but just start somewhere. And I think everybody should just be asking themselves, like, is this logical? I just spent the day down at the beach. There were people everywhere in the sunshine, at restaurants, having catch-ups with friends in the park. Nobody's sick, nobody's dying, nobody's scared. It's all okay. And then you go to, you know, the shopping center and everyone's in masks and stuff. It's because they have to, you know, it's because they fear the consequences of not doing that. They're not fearing the virus. I see them walk out of Woolworths or Coles and take their mask off. You know, they are not doing it to comply with, like, they're not doing it because they fear the virus. At the end of the day, I was driving yesterday. I'm probably talking all over the shop, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, if there was a deadly virus and we would know about it because our friends would be sick, our loved ones would be sick, we would know people who are dying, we would be seeing death, right? With our own eyes, we would be experiencing the wrath of this deadly virus. If that was the case, our government would not need to mandate anything on us because we would have genuine fear. we would stay home in our houses. I would not let my kids go out of the house to school or the park if I thought there was a deadly virus that was going to kill them. I would wear a mask. I would make my 2-year-old wear a mask if I felt that it was going to save her life or protect somebody else from dying. They wouldn't need to mandate this stuff. And I think that's the most logical, like, it just boils down to that. They have to mandate it because no one's scared, because there's nothing to fear. And I think fear, you know, it sort of defies logic, and we stop thinking logically and we start panicking, and we just have to come back down to what's sensible and what's reasonable. There's nobody out there dying. None of us even really know anyone that's experienced any, like, COVID, you know, like I've heard a couple of people that have had it and didn't even know they had it. You know, the government has to pay us to line up to go and get tested because we have no symptoms of this virus. And so when we just start talking about things like that and using our common sense, the fear goes away and we can just breathe again and we can just carry on with our lives. And I think that is what we need to do. We can advocate, we can have rallies, but at the end of the day, our compliance is why they're getting away with this. We just have to go on and live our lives, go to work, show up, visit your grandma. You know, my grandparents are old too. I get it. I don't want them to get sick, but I'm not going to go and get a COVID vaccine to be able to visit them when they get into a nursing home. We have to start forward thinking how this is going to affect us over the next 12 months, 2 years, 5 years, and definitely in our children's futures. And this is the very beginning. So if we don't stand up and say, hey, I'm not okay with this right now, maybe you're okay with some things, but there's a line. Everybody has a right to make decisions on their family's health and safety for themselves. Our government shouldn't need to do that for us.
Right. Thank you, Elle. And Elle is speaking in Adelaide. And just to touch on something she said quickly, the last rally we had at ANZ Stadium at the NRL Grand Final, although some people said it did nothing because not many of us turned up in the pouring rain, what it did was it showed the hypocrisy of the situation, that 40,000 people were going in a stadium, walking past the 30 or 40 of us calling us crazy, yet they're all going into the footy stadium, squashed next to each other for 2 hours, screaming in a stadium, spilling drinks on each other, high-fiving, slapping bums, whatever. They thought we were crazy. But thanks to that, a police officer in Sydney has spoken out about that very situation and sided with us. And we'll talk to Serene now because he has dealt with Serene and Serene knows all the information.
Thank you so much. Oh, this is so lovely. Thank you for providing these very interactive platforms and allowing us to connect with each other and not be kind of working alone in silos, which I think is so important. And I think Australia is doing that really well. I'm really concerned about what's happening in the UK and the USA in terms of the vaccine acceleration programs that we're seeing and the voices that are being really muted over there. I do think that we're in a distinct advantage here in Australia, even though the people may be perceived as compliant, or that compliance is something that is happening across the world. I do think that when Australians get mad or angry, they go, everyone can see that. Everyone can hear that when Australians do get mad. And I think that we are getting to that point where we're really sick, of the BS. And unlike any other part of the world, we have actual police officers now who are actually coming across and who are brave enough to put their names across in letters and question the establishment. And I think this is really inspiring because, we've had a wonderful response from across the world too, from the UK, the USA and New Zealand, from other cops going, oh, could you guys do that here for us? could you put a Cops for COVID Truth in the UK or Cops for COVID Truth in the USA? And I thought, well, isn't that interesting? We're only 26 million. And we've managed to organise ourselves and have a platform where we are going to defend these police officers. Let that be known. The police is probably obviously listening to this and monitoring everything now that we're doing. Annalie would know that. But let them understand that there are many officers reaching out to us. You know, the bravery of Senior Constable Alex Cooney and Anna Lee, his partner, who, as she said, she was a paramedic for 13 years. That is not to be underestimated in terms of the level of experience she brings to the table and the understanding that she brings to the table. And now we have the amazing Senior Constable Kevin Dawson, who is from the Riot Squad. I mean, this is an extremely brave and daring move that they've made. But the reason why they've made it is that they've sought solace and protection in the public, you know, in the public eye. And the reason why is because if they didn't do that, they would be persecuted. Okay, and this is where the Australian public is so important. You know, our unity is so important, and providing that platform. And, you know, I urge the leadership across all the police, you know, the leadership that is, you know, across all of the police forces in each state and territory to really review what is going on here, because this is only going to accelerate. This is only going to get worse for them. If they're going to punish, if they're going to be cruel, if they're going to target individuals, you know, this is only going to be a backlash. There's only going to be a greater backlash on them. You know, they have to start wisening up. You know, our leadership and our establishments and these individuals in top leadership positions have to wisen up and have to provide proper spaces and platforms for these very brave individuals who are coming forward in the police force, in the medical establishments, you know, paramedics. You know, we've got many paramedics now who are coming forward. You know, Anna Lee's spoken, and we've got many other paramedics whose voices are being suffocated. We've got medical practitioners, we've got nurses who want to do the right thing and who want to speak out. If they're not provided the proper platforms for whistleblower supports, where do they go to feel like they can actually speak out and be protected? You know, someone who might know the law, might know the Public Interest Disclosure Acts and knows all about, you know, how do you actually facilitate an appropriate platform to air out your voices at the same time as being protected. You know, and what are the protections and how do you actually go about and seek those protections? You know, we live in a very hypocritical country because on paper we look fantastic. We've got a lot of laws and we've got a lot of policies that seem to be very much in our favor. But as soon as someone speaks out, then you see the hand come down, you know, and the setups, you know, it's all about setting people up and it's about, you know, targeting individuals. We need to move away from those old paradigms, you know, the old culture, the old way of dealing things through force and through intimidation and through gaslighting. And we need to start to create new ways in which we communicate through openness, you know, where, you know, the generation in their 30s and 40s and 50s, you know, that we want to change that old generation of the, you know, the ones in their 50s, 60s and 70s, you know, we want to change that paradigm that is sitting on that level. We want to create a new paradigm, you know, a new paradigm of communication, a new paradigm of doing things. So, you know, my hat's off to the very brave whistleblowers that are coming forward. We've also got a number of whistleblowers that we will be putting now an APRA complaint. So we've got about, you know, 40 or 50 very serious whistleblowers who are medical practitioners, and we've got Dr. Jen at the helm. You know, she is an amazing chiropractor, but now she's had her, you know, she's you know, been forced to push that away, and she's going to speak out about the way that she has been treated by APRA. APRA as an establishment, just like the police, they are extremely militant. You know, they use militant philosophy and militant ideology, you know, in terms of this expectation that, you know, oh, we want you to be clever, but don't be too clever and start asking questions, you know. So, you know, APRA is extremely militant. What it does, it stalks and it harasses doctors and medical practitioners and health practitioners if they want to speak out about vaccine safety and vaccine efficacy, you know, they will be targeted. We have a lot of people that are going to come forward in the next 6 months. You know, this culture is a culture of speaking out. The Australian culture is that of saying, don't you dare, you know, mess with me. And we're not a dibby-dobber culture. And it's really regrettable when we're seeing this transformation in our culture, you know, the dibby-dobbers, the ones that are scared, the fear, the compliant culture. You know, this is not us. This is not typical of what, you know, the true blue Aussie spirit is, you know. And I mean, I'm a migrant into this country, and you know, definitely I've embraced what I've perceived to be a very open culture that embraces fun and travel and exploration, and most certainly not dibby-dobbing on other people. But I've seen that transformation this year, and it's a very ugly one, to be honest. And I don't want us to be reduced to this. So I think the resistance is going to be really good in Australia. We're doing a lot of action. We've got obviously the Cops for COVID Truth. We're only going to push that even harder. Let every police listening to this, every commissioner listening to this today, and they are listening very closely to the things we're doing, you know, let them know. We've got a lot of cops coming forward, okay? And the more they push back, the more we will push back, okay? And the more we will question, the more we will put them, you know, to the test. And also let the military know, let the Navy, let the Army, let the Air Force understand that we also are going to get boys and girls from the Army to come forward as well. And they will come forward, and the nurses will come forward, and the doctors will come forward, and there will be no place for them to go. So we're not going to stop. Okay, we are going to unite with those forces. So we've got that happening. We've got those whistleblower actions happening. We've got a COVID-19 vaccine challenge coming up, okay, against the TGA and the Australian government. So we'll be releasing that very shortly, and all of you will know about this. It's called, we've put a company together that will get memberships, People for Safe Vaccines Limited. It's already promulgated. We've got 3 directors already there, and we will be challenging TGA. They responded to us yesterday, and they said that the reason why they're going to move with the vaccines for 2 reasons: that it is life-threatening, that COVID is life-threatening, and it is highly infectious. Now, the irony is we've got studies from the government that say community transmission and life-threatening aspects of COVID-19 are non-existent. So now they want to push a vaccine based on things that the government itself has decided is not true. So let us go to court and put their own evidence against them, you know? So that's going to go in. Okay, we're going to do a judicial review. Let us fight AstraZeneca and Pfizer. Okay, let us bring it straight to their table. So that's what's happening as well. We've got our class action that we've been canvassing for the last 6 months. People being hounded in hotel detention, compulsory testing, flu vaccinations, restrictive behavior in the form of no services. We've had more people die in the last 6 months because they haven't accessed elective surgery. We've got people who've died because they had a stroke 4 months ago and didn't go in to get a heart surgery, and they've died. Okay, so they've got a lot of blood on their hands, with a lot of people dying from cardiovascular disease and cancer because the services were denied to them. Okay, now that's what's happened. Okay, rather than this death from COVID, that's what's happened. So that's all going into the class action, and that will be lodged before December. We are looking for one last lead, and that will come from the reinstated hotel detention in Victoria. They've gone militant. Dan Andrews and his crew have gone militant. 11 hotels with the Army manning all 11 hotels, a heavy police force. The Victorian police are getting busy, waiting for the people to come from overseas now, and they're going to show them exactly how FEMA camps are going to look like down in hotel quarantine Melbourne, you know. So we're definitely going to get more people from that as well. It's an outrage what is going on in this country. It is an absolute disgrace what we've allowed in some ways to occur. So we've got this national class action that's going to be launched. We've got 2,500 people. It should be 2 million people, not 2,500. That's the disgrace that we've got, but we're getting there. We're going to launch it with that many people. We've got so many strong leads, and we've got a lot of older women. Would you believe? Older women are fearless, and they get angry, and you don't want to hurt older women. Older Australian women are very powerful, and we've got plenty of leads with those people. So we've worked really hard on that. And the last thing we're doing is we are going to be involved with Michael Sims protests. I'm going to get as many people as possible to be involved in the protesting as well. And I think those things are going to all be important. So thank you very much for the platform.
Thank you, Serene. I will mention Serene has agreed to speak in Melbourne. So guys, you will get to hear Serene in real life. It's going to be awesome. Okay, next I have another secret warrior. Where is she? Here she is, sitting in the car waiting. This is her first time speaking out, I think, on the internet. Like, she does speak out on the internet all the time, but she's normally behind the camera. She takes all our photos, does all our videos, and what she does is amazing. We get some people calling out names and trolls and stuff, and she goes in their face with the camera and tries to interview the trolls. It's really amazing. Pleasure to watch. Annette.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Michael. Yeah, so first question, is Lockie on the call?
Yes, Lockie is here.
Okay, cool. Has he spoken yet?
No.
Okay. So I'll give you a little bit about my background first. So I grew up in a religious, vegetarian sort of community, right? And they were always talking about this time. They called it the end days. And it was always, there was so, like, it was nauseating how much they spoke about it. The cashless society, the mark of the beast, the microchipping, everything that we're starting to see. And I even remember a family that moved to, like, they went bush, they sold their suburban house, went bush, because they thought it was going to happen by 2000, right? And no one was sure when it was going to happen, but there was suspicion that it would happen by 2000. So they were just 20 years ahead of their time. So, as many people like myself, we got distracted and bamboozled by the education system, popular culture and all that stuff. So we went off and then for me, it was my, 2014 or something, 2013, I started to wake up, and it was because I got sick. And I'm so glad I got sick, because if I hadn't, I would have still been, I wouldn't have been prepared for this, because that really prepared me. And so my background is in film, television and video production. And so I actually left that world because I got sick, and I went down the rabbit hole to learn how to heal myself. And then once I went down the rabbit hole, it was all over. Like, I was never going to, go back to that mentality that I had. And I kind of came full circle. So, basically, where am I going with this? So what I'm seeing, so it sort of prepared me, right? So I came back to my roots, and it didn't take long to sort of catch up and get my mind wrapped around what's happening. So what I'm doing now is I'm using my skills for the cause. I didn't really even want to go back to doing any of this stuff, but this inspired me. So that's what I'm doing. And right now, I'm working with Lockie, and we're doing this COVID is a scam. I'll let Lockie talk more about it. But so basically, we're out in the street, and we're Lockie's there, and he's got the big sign, COVID is a scam, changed my mind. And like, I'm kind of knew it even before we started filming this. I started to notice, but honestly, like, once we started doing this, and we did it again yesterday, and we go around and we do different areas, and what we're seeing is so many people are awake, right? Like, way more than they want us to know. And I can't even, like, he's so enthusiastic. He sets up the banner and I'm like trying to quickly set up my camera because I know by the time I press record, there'll be 3 people that I've missed that have come up to the table and said, you know, yeah, good on ya. Yeah, I agree. Like, that's what it's like. It's insane. So what I think's happening is like, is we've got like the sleeping giant has awoken, and that's those of us who have, we before COVID happened, we were already sort of knowing what was going on, right? So that we were like, you know, we came awake. And then now I feel like there's another sleeping giant, and that's all these people that woke up after COVID. And it's just so amazing to see. And like, I think that because they're just wrapping their minds around it and they're so quiet. But see, for example, like I'll be on Facebook and my local community groups, right? I will put a sneaky little comment saying that it's a scam or whatever. And I'll get, a couple of trolls come and hound me, but I have all these people liking and loving my comment. Like, it's so weird because I've been doing this sort of thing for so long, and now I'm just seeing this massive change. And it's almost like, you know, we went from being these really fringe pariahs to now it's like we're the new counterculture. And it's so awesome. Like, I went from being so introverted and such a recluse to being such a social butterfly because like I can see that there's all these people that are interested in what we've been speaking about for so long. And I feel like, well, here's my opportunity. I'm gonna help connect people and, you know, do all this stuff and document what's going on. And so there's that Leonardo da Vinci had a saying, there are 3 classes of people. There are those who see when they are shown, and those who do not see. And what I want to say is those who do not see, we kind of know who they are now, right? So those who see when they are shown, they're the ones we want to give our attention and energy to. So don't be like, I see a lot of people get frustrated by the people that won't listen, and the people that just refuse to use logic. And if you got to watch Lockie's videos, there's another one we're releasing next week, and you'll start to see that the people that disagree cannot reason. Like, they're incapable of using logic, right? And you'll see that, and that's what a lot of people are experiencing all the time, every day. So what I want to say is, don't worry about those people, because there's so many other people who are waking up. Like, they do have the capacity to reason, and there's so many of them that need to be, you know, shown more. So just focus on them, and don't worry about the others. Because we don't even need them. That's what I think. So yeah, that's it.
Good. Thank you, Annette. Good to see you finally speaking on the other side of the camera. Thank you. I think we've got Romeo that's cooked his dinner, had a shave, gone to the toilet while all the women are talking. Where is he? There he is. Don't know if you can hear me. Yeah, he's got a smirk on his face. You got to unmute yourself, Matt.
Hi, guys. I've done everything, Michael, except go to the toilet. No, I just, you know, I'm not going to take 3 minutes. I don't need 3 minutes because this thing is so simple. It doesn't need to be explained. It doesn't need to be, you know, broken down and dissected. It's simple. Everybody in Australia seems to think that the government are almighty. They seem to forget that you've got to vote for them. That the second they're no longer in Parliament, they're normal. They're just normal human beings. So I don't understand why everybody says, I'm not going to go to a protest because I can't do anything. Well, if you don't go to the protest, you can't do anything. But if you do go to a protest, you let them know, these people that think with all their privileges and perks for the so-called 4 years that they serve, that you're only there because I put you there. And you're there to represent the best interests of me and my family and fellow Australians. So to all these people that think I'm not going to go because I'm not going to do anything, well, if you don't go, it's pointless. But if you want to make a change and you want to truly understand how Australia works and you want it to work the way it was designed to work, you have to be there. Simple as that. Because you've got to send them a message. Because if anybody knows how politicians think, you might have 10 people standing there. They represent 100 voters. So if you've got 1,000 people in a park, that's 10,000 voters. If you have 5,000, that's 50,000. If you have 10,000, that's 100,000. That's when they go, shit, fuck me, we're screwed. That's when the things start to change. That's when they come out on TV, right? The guys that never had any friends at school and would sit in their room all by themselves, go, you know, oh, we've changed our mind. You know what? We don't think this is the best interest of the people. No, you didn't change your mind. We forced you to change your mind. We basically told you that if you don't do what we want, get the fuck out. That's it. I'm done. 3 minutes finished. Get your ass to Sydney Park and let them know that we run Australia, not you. You're just a puppet on a string that we control. That's it. God bless you all. God bless Australia. I'm going to go back to eating my dinner and enjoying the rest of you guys talking.
Is dinner good? Is dinner good? So Romeo is a good cook, guys. I've met him a couple of times. The first time we met was at the protest on the 30th of May. He just came up, normal bloke, said hello. I gave him a speech. He invited me for dinner. So actually, out of all you guys, I've met Romeo, Yusra, Annette, and that's it in real life. So again, it shows the unity that we all get through the damn computer. But it'll be great to meet you all one day when the government lets us and we all get together and have a big party. Where are we at?
Jackie Dundee.
Jackie, where's Jackie still? There she is. Oh, Jackie will probably talk for an hour too.
No,
Maybe we... Nah, Jackie's not talking yet. We'll let Will talk. I'm trusting you, Will. You're another bloke. Fenos and Romeo kept it short, kept to the time limit. These women are a bit different. Sorry, I'm not being sexist. I love you all. That's why you're here.
All right. So my name's William. I'm from Melbourne, and I've been doing a bit of public speaking as well as content creation recently. So I remember when we first went into the lockdown, the first one, initial one, I remember thinking to myself, so many people are going to kill themselves. So this is going to be terrible for our economy. And I remember seeing the way that we collectively as a society thought, you know, it's worth making these sacrifices temporarily so that we can maintain, you know, the safety of the community or whatever. And I think that, you know, it's nice to know that Australians do care that much about trying to look after each other. But I think that we've taken our rights and I think we've taken our freedoms for so many people are going to kill themselves. How many people have fought for those freedoms over the, you know, over the years. And I think that for me, it was, I remember having a friend message me some videos of the protest where Thanos got arrested. And I remember when I first saw him speaking, reading from the Bible, talking about the mark of the beast, where he then got grabbed. And it was one of those things where I thought to myself, that's a big concern. And, you know, even if you, even if you don't, you know, some of the significance of that text, for example, that part about the mark of the beast, just imagine if anyone got arrested for reading a religious text. That alone is something that should always be, you know, for me, it was, I remember having a friend message me some videos of the protest text. We're supposed to have religious freedom. And, you know, we should also have freedom of expression. And it seems like we've had a variety of our rights stifled in the name of our own safety. And for me, it was when I started seeing the police talking about how we shouldn't be going to a protest at all, especially around September 5th, I remember thinking, oh, gee, it really does seem like we're going to lose our right to protest at all. So I started looking into things a little bit, and I looked into like the Victorian Charter of Human Rights, and I thought like peaceful assembly. It doesn't say that there's any exceptions there. I would think that peaceful assembly is something that we should be able to maintain. And so I tried making a few videos around things. When I first saw Thanos get arrested, that's when I was like, you know what, I think I need to make a video just to be able to share my opinion, because I do think that the right to protest, regardless of what it is something that needs to be maintained in our society if we want to have a healthy democracy. And it's so important for everyone to be able to make their voices heard. And so many people said, you know, oh, but it's a pandemic, but it's a pandemic. And at the same time, it's like, yeah, but if they're saying that this isn't going away anytime soon, then we can't just be saying that we have no way to voice our opinions for so long. So I've kind of thrown myself into the position of being a bit of a public speaker, just because on September 5th, I remember arriving there and it was a little chaotic in the sense of no one really knew kind of what to do or what to, you know, what they should be kind of doing. There was no real sense of direction. The police started kind of moving us down towards the steps. And at some point I just kind of jumped up on the steps and just started yelling and giving my opinion on things. And, you know, people seemed to appreciate that. And when we started marching, I then got everyone to say, I remember I said out loud, I'm like, human rights matter. I would love to see them say that they don't, because I thought it would be interesting, you know, the way that we see the media try to spin things. If we were to say something as simple as human rights matter, what would they be able to say to that? And it was interesting. The response that we got instead from Daniel Andrews was, it's not about human rights, it's about human life. And that is something that I think we'll be able to hold against him in regards to, you know, look, this is the person who's running our state. And that's something where if you were to hear that from any other political leader in history, because I thought it would be that we would be, you know, very concerned. What was that, sorry?
I just muted Romeo. He was calling something.
No worries. So I've continued to kind of create content around what's been happening, because after September 5th, for example, I remember getting home, looking at the news and thinking, oh, I'm not happy with the way that they portrayed that. So I tried to gather as much footage as I can from like other people who were there, whether it be live streaming or just some of the footage that I got from the day. And I kind of compiled my opinion of what happened that day and trying to just to, you know, put that out there. And I've continued to try and raise awareness about some of these issues, especially some of the deeper issues. But I've been trying to think of what are the ways that we can introduce some of these subjects to your average Joe in a way that's not going to kind of overwhelm them. Because I've noticed that a lot of people, if you kind of present too much at once, that some of them can just kind of shut off. So I've been thinking, what's a way that I can present some of this information in a way that some of those people who may not have heard any of this stuff before, you know, down the rabbit hole or whatever you want to call it, how can we get them to start thinking about these kind of subjects? Even something like microchips, for example. That's something where, like, we've already had our government kind of speak about it in Parliament back in the day in regards to RFID implants and the privacy that might the privacy issues that might arise from that. We've seen news articles, we've seen news reports from Sweden as well as even in Australia back in 2017 talking about that. So I've been trying to raise awareness to some of these issues to, you know, your average Joe, and to try to make it so that we can share some of this stuff to people. But mainly I've been wanting to raise awareness about our human rights, because I think that it is something that a lot of us have taken for granted. You know, I've had people even say to me things like, you know, but what about my human right not to get COVID? And it just goes to show how much we don't understand our rights in regards to, I've been doing a bit of research recently about our right to health. And our right to health is the balance of physical, mental, and social well-being. And if you look at something like a lockdown, that did not really take into regards our physical, mental, or social well-being. Locking people in their homes, limiting their sunlight, making it so they how many people were too scared to seek physical help, let alone mental health assistance and stuff like that. And for anyone who knows people who's suffered from mental health struggles, you know, don't get me wrong, for everyone who is there on the helplines, you know, I'm thankful that they're there, but it's very difficult for people to be able to get the assistance that they need simply on a phone call. And I remember seeing the lockdown towers, for example. Like, I attended the Black Lives Matter protests when they were on, and then it was only a couple of weeks after that we see the lockdown towers, and we see people getting treated with less rights than prisoners. And that was a really big concern to me, especially seeing how we didn't see more of a, you know, people rising up to try to complain about it. Instead, people found ways to justify it. So in regards to anyone who may have doubts about going to a protest, I think that if you think back to over the past few months, you know, we have continued to have protests nonstop, and things have continued to progress, especially here in Victoria. You know, every time we have a protest afterwards, some of the restrictions ease up. And I think that it's because with the people, you know, especially when we're in a state of emergency, they're able to make snap decisions. And I think that it's based a lot more off of public sentiment than we realize. And I think that's why they make such a big effort with the propaganda campaigns, such as, staying apart is keeping us together. Because even something as simple as social distancing, if in a pandemic, understandably, people should maybe maintain their physical distance, but the term social distance implies that we shouldn't be talking. And I think that that's another thing that goes to show the lack of care for our social health.
Cut in, Will. I trusted you to stick to 3 minutes, and you've done 9 minutes so far.
Wow, really?
This is what happens when you get a bunch of speakers on. It's very tough.
Sorry. Okay, I'll try to wrap it up. So for anyone who has any doubts about protests, every single person can make a difference in regards to their whatever actions they want to make, whatever it is they want to voice their opinions on. It doesn't matter what it may be. I think that it's really important for people to know that every voice matters in a democracy, and whatever it is that they can do to make their voice heard and to be able to communicate with other people to set that example. If everyone was raising their opinion and making their voice heard on every issue that mattered to them, I think that we would have a really different society in no matter of time at all. So thank you to everyone who's been doing so much to inspire me over the time. And thank you for Michael for bringing everyone together, because I do think that bringing the community together is something that we need a lot more of. So thank you very much. Sorry for taking so much time.
Thanks, Will. And I didn't know who Will was until a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, who's that guy speaking with Jackie?
Yeah.
So good for getting out there when other people couldn't. So I know Fenos would have been there if he could, but obviously he couldn't.
Yeah, 100%.
You stepped up, so good job, mate.
Thank you very much.
And I don't trust Yusra to speak next either. Sorry, Yusra. Let's go Gabby, because I've never heard Gabby speak. I'm trusting you, Gabby.
3 minutes.
Hi guys, it's great to, am I muted?
No, you're right.
Yeah, thank you, Michael, for setting up this platform. It's been so great to hear from other people in the community, because there's some really amazing things that are happening, and they're also connected as well. I wanted to talk about Rise Up for Children, which started in July. And for me, I was, I guess, like everyone else, I wasn't sure whether my voice could make a difference and what I could do. But I got to the point where I couldn't be quiet anymore. And standing in that truth is really empowering. And, it didn't take long before a lot of people were reaching out and jumping on board with our community. And it became really obvious that there was such a massive need for people to be able to take action for children in our communities. We had victims, we had survivors, we had a lot of people approaching us that had either experienced or witnessed, these horrific crimes against children. And they were feeling like me, it was enough was enough. We'd had enough of the lenient sentences for perpetrators of these horrific crimes, knowing that when they get released on the streets, there's a 90% chance that they're going to reoffend. Enough of the family courts making decisions where, kids are put back in abusive situations, and, enough of pedophiles being protected by things like suppression orders. It's just a national embarrassment. So that's how our movement of people grew together. And, it's, the facts are, children are really getting lost in a lot of the narratives that are going on in the community at the moment. And it's a massive issue. Every 30 seconds, a child somewhere worldwide is sold into some sort of slavery. So it could be organ harvesting, it could be labour, it could be sex trafficking. And, there's only a 1%. So it's a real miracle for kids to actually get out of that situation alive. And just imagine the healing that happens after that as well. So, yeah, I guess this year has really been about taking action and making things happen, both for myself and inspiring the people around me to take action as well. And we've worked on campaigns with Belinda Curtis, obviously around the petition to lift the pedophile suppression orders. And, just wanted to make, short videos, something that was catchy to get this information, which is pretty heavy. And, you can research about the corruption and all of these topics that we're talking about now for hours and hours. And it's a real challenge in our communities at the moment to create change, to be able to get this information to people in a way that they can actually absorb and digest. So made a couple of videos that did really well and obtained a lot of signatures for the petition, I should say. And we had a campaign around the huge increases in child abuse online this year. So we've been reaching out to MPs, to councils, to police, to our local community organisations, and just saying, like, how are you actually representing children? What is being done? You know, how are you being a voice for children to stop this from happening? And, you know, will you actually vote for what we're demanding with the petition at the moment as well? So it's been really great to see so many people. I know for myself, I never would have been reaching out to MPs and councils every week. But it's been really empowering to see so many people, you know, take that initiative, get out and talk. I see people doing lives, putting out posts, you know, contacting these people that are meant to be our leaders. But I think, like Romeo was saying, you know, we voted them in, and they are there to represent us and what's important, you know, to our hearts as well. So it's a bit of a power turning there as well. Yeah, so I think, you know, days like Freedom Day are amazing. It's a way for us all to come together, and you know, it really is a time for all of Australians to unite. There's so many different causes and they're all so important and so connected in so many ways. But I think what really underlies all of that is we're fighting for freedom. Like, you know, with our children, we're fighting for the children of the past, the children that are being hurt right now, and the children of the future. And all of these concerns we're talking about today affect future generations as well. So, you know, it is a really incredible time to be alive, as much as it's challenging. And I think, you know, out of this darkness, the people rising up, you know, are really creating this space for other people to rise up to and have a voice, which is so important at the moment as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabby. So I've followed Gabby's work for a while, and it's a great cause, and it's one that we all actually know is happening. So it's good that someone has specialised in that area there to do that work. So thank you. Next, a person, again, that I find very dear to my heart, the Queen. The Queen. That's you, Meryl. The Queen, someone who's been in this for so long. Again, for most people that are doing social media all the time, you may not know who she is at all, especially recently. If you've gone to a protest in Sydney, you definitely know who she is. Meryl, do you need to unmute and tell the people your story?
All right, my name's Morel, and I've been in natural healing for over 38 years, and I was a teacher before that. And I was just hearing a lot of people speak about children and what's been happening to them. And I'd like to have a word for teachers. We haven't actually had a body of teachers stand up that I know of yet, even though I know that there's a lot of unrest in the education department, because when we think about it, there's a medical intervention in the education system. What is medicine got to do in education? Okay, we don't go to the doctors and hold an English class in his office. So we need to get the vaccinations out of the schools and back into where they should be if you wish to have them at all. So some of the teachers that have come to my clinic have expressed their concern that they have to give out notes, and they don't want to do that because they become part of that problem. So I just wanted to highlight that. Teachers, please, anybody listening there that's a teacher, stand up. I know some have, and the headmaster said that they could stay home on those vaccination days. So yeah, we need to have a bit of a movement in the education system with regards to this, and they're there to protect the children, to educate the children. So we need to give them support. I have had a lot to do with Aboriginal, the Aboriginal community. I was married to Burnham. I have an Aboriginal son. I live with Uncle Max Harrison. We belong to the IMOP party, which is Informed Medical Options. I stood for the Senate in the last federal election as a running partner to Michael O'Neill, and we are for informed medical options. And that means that we need to have other options other than just be forced into one thing, which is a COVID vaccine or a flu vaccine. Just on that matter, when we heard the announcement of Alan Joyce this week saying that, you know, he was going to make the flying, national flying, only you were able to do that if you had a COVID vaccine. And so I wrote a very stinging letter, and hopefully that encouraged a lot of other people to write as well, that we would never fly Qantas again under those circumstances. So there are many ways to protest. Protests have had a great history of changing the world and changing you know, laws and bylaws, and it has been very successful in the past. We have that right, and we should always have that right, but you can also protest individually. And I've had quite a few experiences lately where I made just very simple protests, and I'm saying this to all the listeners. For example, my optometrist, I made an appointment just to have my eyes checked, and she said you would have to wear a mask. And I said, well, I'll cancel my appointment, thank you, until masks are obsolete. And she said, oh, don't you want to wear a mask? Do you have a health issue? And I said, not at all. I've done my research and I don't want to wear a mask because it reduces my oxygen level, and it certainly doesn't stop the spread of the COVID, in my opinion, and from what I've read. So she said, oh, well, don't worry about it, come anyway. So when it was going to affect her, I made a stand. That informed her. I was able to speak with her about that. These are the little things that people can do all along the way as you go. Another incident, I was a support person to someone that was having breast cancer. We approached this particular hospital, and they said, oh, before you come in, you have to show us your phone or answer these questions. I wouldn't show them the phone. I answered the questions. They said that I would have to use the hand sanitizer. I said I'd rather wash my hands because it's full of alcohol. And then they proceeded to say that I had to wear a mask. And I said, I won't be wearing a mask. They said, why do you have a health issue? I said, no, I choose not to wear a mask because, you know, it's against what I have read, and there is no science behind this. They said, well, it's hospital policy. So I asked them, would they show me the policy that they'd based this, showed me the evidence that they'd based this policy on. They said they'd have to go and get somebody. So somebody else came down, and I was told the same thing, that it was hospital policy. And I said, well, I'd like to see the evidence that you base this on. And they just kept repeating that it was hospital policy. The friend I was with was getting very distressed. So I explained that she should go ahead. And then I proceeded to say, well, you have effectively denied me the opportunity to be a support person for this very nervous and anxious friend of mine. And they said, oh, well, just put the mask on. I said, no, I refuse to do that. So I turned around and went to the car. Within 5 minutes, they had rung me and said, look, we can link you up with the video while she's in the office. So I thank them for at least thinking outside the box. But my point here is make these little stands. I have gone and seen our local member, and I'm very fortunate in this area, our local member, Craig Kelly. And he has been trying very hard to bring about alternatives, and he's actually pushing the hydroxychloroquine. We all know that vitamin C, zinc, and all these beautiful herbs like astragalus, isatis, there's some beautiful herbs that are antiviral, that are very effective for treating any viruses, should there be a virus. And he proceeded to actually indicate that one of the reasons that they don't want alternatives is because if there's an alternative, they have to go fully ahead with complying with all the requirements for the trial, which would take 5 years to 10 years. If there's an alternative, that's what they'd have to do. If there's no alternative, then they are justified in rushing that through. So, you know, these are the things. I spoke in the Vax bus recently. We were able to get our local council to have the Vax bus in the Burnham Sanctuary that's named after my husband, which was very good. We conducted lots of interviews there, which you can see online. So continue to educate yourself, continue to protest, continue to do it individually as well. So that, you know, you can make a stand wherever you go. I'd like to also say that one of the ways that I've survived through all of this is to build fraud resilience. We know that there's so much fraud around at the moment. We know that that continues on the media, in medicine, in politics. So build resilience against that fraud and continue you know, to be stronger and stronger, and also build frustration tolerance. So the more frustrated we get, that can also inspire us, and it inspires us to do these protests and to take action. That's what frustration does. If it's channeled correctly, it should bring about action for you. So think about those survival techniques. Think about force and power. When something has to be forced, and like the COVID vaccines and all vaccines, including children's vaccines, then these people don't have power. Because when you have real power, you have truth, and you don't need to force anything, because it will be its truth on its own, and people will choose that. And so therefore I say to everybody, we don't actually have a health policy. We have actually a health business. So please protest in as many ways as you can. Write letters, get out there on Sunday, listen to speakers, talk with people, explain things to them, put them in the right direction. And I really think that we also need a boost for the teachers as well. I want to thank Michael for organising this, and hopefully we will all meet together. And our safety is in numbers, as a few of the other speakers have said. When there's a lot of people, usually things go well, and people and groups are not targeted. So yes, hopefully we can see you all there then. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Marielle. Again, she's been at it for a long time. We have met twice now. Marielle came out to the grand final in the pouring rain.
That's correct. Well, they targeted our little group while, what was it, 40,000 were in the stadium, and we were told we were a threat to the health system while they were all sitting together in there with the football. It was just hideous. Yeah,
exactly. Someone else that was at that protest was Yusra. If she goes longer than 5 minutes, can everyone just put their hand up, please?
Can you just shush? I'm not going to go on for more than like 2 minutes, okay?
You've been waiting a long time, so good luck.
Yes, and I've got kids to put to bed. All righty. So I'll just quickly sum up myself. I've always been into social activism. I've always been extremely anti-oppression. It's been hard for me to ever keep my mouth shut when I see an injustice. I've done a lot in this movement, but I won't go into those specifics. Currently, what I'm doing is I'm addressing the religious leaders. So inspired by the Cops for COVID Truth document, me and others have created a letter that we will be presenting to religious leaders that's full of like peer-reviewed, bulletproof studies that they can't refute, because I'm thinking we need to start working with communities within communities, if that makes sense. So that will be hopefully this week and next week. We've got people from different faiths helping us. I'm working on, obviously, the Muslim leaders. We've got a fellow brother in the movement who's working on the Christian version of it, and we've recently had a rabbi that has reached out to us so he can do the Jewish faith and hand those letters out just to wake them up. Maybe they're none the wiser about the dangers of the COVID vaccine, and for them not to promote it and encourage their community to roll up their sleeves. That's pretty much. I told you.
I'm muted. I said great work, and that's a really great cause. I hope everyone supports that, no matter what religion you are. So it's really.
And just one more thing.
Oh, no.
Listen, everyone needs to show up for Australia this Sunday. I don't care what grievances people have with each other. Let's put all egos aside. Doesn't matter how big or small your personality is. We all need to show up for Australia. If you guys care about your country, your children, future generations, the onus is on you to make a stand. And that's it, Michael.
That was all. Good end speech. I liked it.
Lockie, maybe.
Lockie's not here right now.
Okay.
Maybe.
Jackie.
Oh, I don't trust Jackie.
Graham.
Jackie's
Graham.
Lockie's here.
Lockie.
Lockie. Sorry, Jackie. I do trust you, really. I didn't know you could hear me. Sorry, Jackie. Go for it, Lockie. You can go next, Jackie. We can't hear you, Lockie. Can anyone hear him? He waited all this time and we can't hear him. We still can't hear you. Got nothing, Lockie. I'm not gonna mute you. You keep trying while Jackie talks. She'll talk for 20 minutes. I'm going for a break.
It's going to run out.
Oh, all right, Michael.
Literally, it's 8:33. I think it cuts out at 9 o'clock, Jackie.
Yeah, I've got to run. I'll be as quick as I can. Look, I started looking at the corruption of the government approximately 15 years ago, was looking at the Constitution, our supreme law of the land, to fight it. Off here, say Michael's gone. I've been playing around with the common law courts, yet to have the first one in Victoria. And I also went into the quantum and the syntax. But recently, I have faith in the Constitution, and I think we need to get back into our Constitution and look at it very closely. They cannot mandate vaccines. That is a direct breach of Section 5123A of the Constitution. Now, I know Serene's gone, but I'll try giving her a call and talking to her. But I know Serene's working under the framework of the Biosecurity Act of 2015. What we need to understand is that there are at least, oh God, what did I write down? Section 90 through to 95 are inconsistent with the Constitution. They're null, void and invalid, as are a lot of sections of the Biosecurity Act. That is a federal act.
Am I back? Ooh, can you hear me? Woo!
Yes, we can hear you now.
Hang on, Lockie. Yep, but it's not. You'll be on maybe next, okay?
So we've got to go back to our Constitution. I've been working with Sol and Glenn Floyd. Glenn Floyd, don't know if you remember Glenn. Glenn is the older gentleman who walked into the police station up at Malden in Victoria and said he was protesting. Now, he's been fighting the psychiatrists with forced medication, and guess what? We've been working on something special in the last 3 weeks, and we've won in court. The courts have withdrawn.
Woohoo!
So we're on to something. So I can't go into everything that we are doing because I've got to keep a little bit on the quiet. But all I want to say is we need to look at our Constitution. As Romeo said, we have had a flip of the hierarchical pyramid. We, the people, sit at the top. Constitution sits below us, which is to stop the tyranny, and the government sits at the bottom to adhere to our will. We have a situation of ultra vires. We need to get back into our Constitution. 5123A is civil conscription. They cannot force vaccines. They cannot force masks. They cannot force any kind of medical aid or directive on us. Everything requires consent, and our supreme law of this land protects us with that. Now, each state's got its own constitution, but as per section 106 of the Constitution, all state constitutions are subject to the Constitution. So anything that's null, void If anything that's not consistent is null, void, and invalid. That is your section 109. Section 92 we need to look at as well. We've got stuff happening with that. They've got no right to close borders. They've had no right to shut us down at all, but we're looking at that. I've got paperwork to hand out to everybody on Sunday regarding your fines, which I've got 50 or 60 copies to go. So I'll try and print out some more, but I'll be handing out paperwork for everybody, which has got some really good informative stuff on it. All I can say is have faith in our Constitution, the supreme law of the land, because even the Biosecurity Act, we need to make a whole lot of that null, void, and invalid. That's all I'm going to say, Mike. Mike, did you hear that we won? We won in court.
I heard, Jackie. It's marvellous. Well done.
So this is a big thing, because it is psychiatrists cannot force medication. This has been a major issue. So this is leading us to forced vaccinations. We're getting there. So I'm sort of working behind the scenes at the moment. Thank you to everyone. Thank you, Mike. See everyone in Melbourne on Sunday.
Okay, we've got Lockie. 2 people left. We can get through them, I promise.
How are we doing, folks? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, so Lockie's new on the scene. Tell us what you're doing, Lockie.
So I only fully woke up. So I was very skeptical of the pandemic's global pandemic. Ooh, fucking, the whole world's going to end. From the beginning, I watched David Icke. I watched all these different theories on what's going on. I only fully woke up to it fully maybe 3-4 months ago. When I joined a group called Millions Rise for Australia, and I watched one of the live streams, and holy fuck, and put a whole bunch of pieces of the puzzle together and thought, fuck, this is actually legit. Because I kind of knew it was all bullshit from the start, but I didn't fully accept the gravity of the situation. Like, okay, what does that mean for us? Like, what does that mean for everything else that's going on? Like, I didn't really fully, didn't want to think about it too much and didn't really look into it too much from the start until about 4 months ago, 5, I don't know, 4, whatever, however long ago it was. But so just kind of, obviously kind of had a feeling that it was all bullshit, but I just didn't really want to look into it because I think subconsciously I just didn't want to look into it because I knew I was just like worried about what I would find sort of thing. So never bothered to look into it too much until about 4 or 5 months ago when I joined that group. But went down to the protest in Melbourne because we thought there was going to be 50,000 people there. We thought, fuck it, I'm turning up to that fucking protest. Drove down. We had to do fucking hotel quarantine for 2 weeks. Fuck that. We got a permit, so I thought we were going to get over the border, but we didn't. And we had to fucking do 2 weeks.
We had Fenos and Romeo both not swear, mate.
Oh.
You're going off like a trooper.
Yeah, I only got a little bit of time, so I'll stop. I'll just fucking get to the point. So we set up, me and my mate who went down to Melbourne with, we started doing COVID's a scam, changed my mind, and we started off with 4 core fluids we bought from Officeworks. We taped them all together, and we drew on them with like texture. And we went to Bondi. We went to Bondi Beach with them, but we set them up and set up a table. We had no idea how to video. We had a camera, and we didn't know how to video properly with iPhones and the worst footage ever. We couldn't fucking share. Couldn't share it because it was just crappy footage. You couldn't even hear what anyone was saying. But the one thing we noticed, and what made us keep doing it, what made me super motivated to keep doing it, was I noticed, holy bollocks, all these people were agreeing with us. Even the lifeguards came out and said, oh, mate, good on you, man. This is all a load of crap. They told us they had to shut down the beach. It was all nonsense. I can't believe we had to shut down the whole beach because of this rubbish. And there's just so many people who agree with us. And I don't think the goal is to wake people up. I think the goal is just to say, hey guys, guess what? Movement here. Come and join us. Come and join this movement where we all unite and we fight the government. Let's do it. Let's just join us. Come on, come to me. Come on, folks. And that's just all we have to do, because if we can get everyone to come to the hill, we're fighting on the hill. If we can get all these people to come to us and join us, it's over. Because so many people know. I reckon 20% of people. I reckon like 90% of people either are open-minded to that this is some dodgy thing that's going on. Right? I reckon there's so many, I reckon majority of the population is open-minded to something's going on. They don't necessarily know the details of what's going on and don't necessarily know anything about it. But I reckon if you ask the average person on the street, what do you think of what's going on? Do you think I reckon more than 50% of them know something weird's going on. They can just feel it. So it's really just a question of getting them to unite with us and come here and let's fight. Come to us. As opposed to waking them all up, because it's not about that. I mean, I'm just sitting there and people are coming up to me and they know all about the Great Reset and all the things that are going on, and, you know, mandatory vaccines and all that sort of stuff. It's actually pretty rare that people really think I'm an idiot when I'm sitting there.
So, Lockie, you get a lot of comments. The people love your energy, mate.
It's usually
You've been sitting
young
there for
girls.
2 hours, and
Young
now you
girls, only people who fucking hate, who hate me, and they think I'm stupid. They can't tell me why. They can't tell me why. I'm so dumb that there's not even really much point talking to me. I'm only worthy of insults, unfortunately, from the young girls, but I don't know why that is. But every other demographic of people seems to be open-minded or agree with me or whatever. Just the young teenage girls seem to be the ones who are just like, yeah, you're all right. And they just laugh at me and just think I'm the stupidest guy they've ever met in their life. Yeah, bizarre. I don't know what it is.
Oh, well, good luck, mate. And you're speaking at Sydney on the weekend, and you're going to bring your little table as well?
I'll be bringing my table. I'll be doing change mind. Even I'll be hoping if there's cops there that want to try and shut us down, I'll be saying, take a seat, mate. You're welcome to try and change my mind. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a chat. Let's have a chat. I'm just here I'm not here to argue or get aggressive. I'm just here for a conversation.
Thanks, Lockie.
Let's talk.
Old man, Graham.
Science.
I'm
You
how
still
you
awake,
going,
mate?
everyone? Can you hear me?
Yep.
I'm Graham. I'm the senior that Fanos referred to before. So I've been around doing this for a long time, and like Jackie, we've always been pushing to restore our lawful constitution, because all of these things that, and I've made notes here. I've made 15 pages of notes tonight about all the things that you guys are doing, and it's amazing that the amount of effort that's going in now that we didn't see back in the noughties when we first started campaigning, if you like, for the restoration of the Constitution, because of the corruptness and the treason of the corporate government that we now have sitting in our parliaments. So what we've done with the Aussie Patriots role is we've morphed a few times since 2000. And what we're doing now is we're actually still pursuing the British government, or sorry, the British monarchy, to step in to honour the obligation in our constitution to look after the Australian people, the Australian Commonwealth, and our constitution. So we're still pursuing that. We lodged a lawful rebellion, Article 61 of the Magna Carta, in 2019 in January. And we lodged that with 6,500 affidavits. And now we're trying to build the Aussie Patriots roll to 100,000 to lodge those declarations to the Privy Council in the UK to step in and prorogue, which means dismiss our parliaments so that people can have their country back. So that's one thing we're working on. The other thing we're doing now also is we're creating what we call an overarching of all of the things that you guys are doing. Recently have been working with Michael and others, David O'Neig's, Max Egan, and a lot of other people, to bring together the people so that we can have a place where everyone can come and get information on all of the things that you guys are doing without having to search around and then give up, because that's what happens. They search and search, can't find what they want, so they give up and go back to sleep. So Lockie just said it. We need to get this energy going, and I've never seen as much energy in the Australian people, populace or public, since I started. It's amazing what's happening. And they say that to get people motivated, there has to be a cataclysmic event. We just had one, and we're still going through it. So we have to unite. And the only thing that's stopping all of the actions that you guys are doing is numbers, because that's the one thing that scares the crap out of the government, numbers. And especially when the numbers are standing up and speaking, not just being quiet in the background, which there are a lot, as Fanos said before, a lot of seniors are on our roll, but they won't go out in the street and do anything. So we support 100% the Freedom Day movement, and every one of you that's spoken on Tuesday night and tonight, we also support you, but we need to know what you're doing, and we need to know how we get your information out to all the people that are coming to us and saying, what do we do? And that's basically what we're doing. So there's a lot of things happening out there that people don't know about. And everything that's been said tonight and on Tuesday night is just amazing. And there's still so many people that we haven't spoken to yet, which we will get to. So yeah, Michael and MJ, magnificent job pulling this all together, both Tuesday and tonight. And we, you know, us oldies, us seniors, Fenos, we're still, there's still a few of us got a little bit. I've got the walking frame behind me, so I'm still got a little bit of energy left. So, but it's good to see so many young people taking up the challenge. It's fantastic, and I applaud you all for that. Thank you so much, and we hope you'll join the Aussie Patriots role, so we more pressure on the government.
Thanks, Graham. I just want to thank everyone again. Are you ready, Vanessa? Looks like you're eating now too, mate. I want to thank everyone for being here, for all the people watching.
I'm shit. Fuck. You know what? I knew that was going to happen. I am totally ready. If you give me 30 seconds, Michael.
I'll talk for 30 seconds. I'm muting you. So I want to thank everyone for being here, and for all the people at home. Again, no one here is getting paid to be on this. Everyone has a life. Do you know what I mean? You've seen people eating, people sleeping, people going to the toilet, people looking after their kids. It's sunshine in some places and it's nighttime in other places. Everyone here is doing the best they can, and they're all the ones standing up, and I appreciate them all. And I hope everyone does, and not try and create dramas with anyone when they're only just out here trying to do their best and the best that they can. You know, none of us have gone through any of this before. These are the people stepping up, doing their best in life, and they need your support. And again, we're not getting paid. While you're out there having recreation fun, we're out here struggling, not sleeping, I don't know, losing jobs, losing friends, losing relationships, family, whatever. We're in the fight. So follow these guys. And here is Vanessa with a song for you out there. If she unmutes herself.
Thanks, Michael. Can you hear me?
We can.
That's beautiful. Look, this was written after I watched, as I said before, a funeral through a screen for a girl that I knew that committed suicide throughout this lockdown, because that's a reality of what's happening. And so everybody you know, is responsible, and everyone's accountable, and everybody needs to speak up. It doesn't matter what you're losing, you need to speak up. So thanks for having me. So this is called Say Something, guys. I wanna walk outside past 9. I wanna play live music and feel alive, but your silence is deafening, and that presence is threatening. So say something, say something. People call me brave for speaking out and speaking up. It's not that I am brave, it's just that I don't give a fuck. Why should I care about the things that I say? I won't be quiet, I won't stay silent. And why should I care about the things that I say? I was never cool enough to get any real airplay anyway. They wanna walk outside past 9. They wanna play live music and feel alive, but your silence is deafening, and their presence is threatening. So say something, say something. And I am not scared of losing fake friends online, but I'm fucking terrified of sitting back and watching my real friends die. They wanna walk outside past 9. They wanna play live music and feel alive. So smile for the cameras, cause everybody's watching. And Melbourne, you're a big shot, and everybody's laughing. Now everybody knows your name. And everybody knows your name. But your silence is deafening, and their presence is threatening. So say something, say something. Say something. Say something. Your silence is deafening. Thank you so much to everybody tonight. I'm so honoured to be a part of tonight. Thank you so much, guys. We got this together. We really do. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, thank everyone. We'll end the live now. If you guys want to chat or exchange details afterwards, we can do that. But thanks, guys. Benos, you did stick to 3 minutes. Do you want to say something else before it cuts out?
Who, me?
Yeah. You're the only one that kept time.
No, not really, man. You know, it was an absolute pleasure to meet everybody, and you know, I'm super excited to actually finally get to speak after going through all of this stuff I've had to endure with the police, like knocks on the door and torment and all the other stuff I've gone through. So to actually be able to, you know, stand on a stage and speak and, you know, not be worried that it's going to be breaching my bail and get put in jail. I'm looking forward to it, guys. And I've got a ripper, and I mean an absolute ripper of a speech. I'm going to spit fire that day.
Good job, man.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks, guys. Do you want to?
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Michael.